What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This is part of a series where I focus on a specific director and rank that director's work from worst to best. Done such directors in the past such as Spike Lee, Spike Jonze, Christopher Nolan, Wes Anderson. The list goes on. You guys can check out those directors and many more on my director playlist down below. But guys, you clicked on this video, so you know this time around I'm focusing on John Hillcoat's movies and ranking them from worst to best. Now here's the thing. John Hillcoat is a director that technically, as of filming this video, which is April 2023, he has technically done 6 movies. But this list is only going to include 5 because his sophomore movie, To Have and to Hold, I believe is the title, is pretty much impossible to find. If one of you guys have happened to have seen this movie and, have a link for it, please put it down in the comment section down below, and then maybe I will add that to this ranking list. But I couldn't find it, so because of that, I'm only doing his 5 movies. And then also do keep in mind that because I'm filming this in April 2023, if he does do any movies later on in 2023 or early 2024, you'll know why that movie wasn't included in this list. But also, another thing worth mentioning, this will not include any short movies, music videos, TV movies, TV shows. None of that, specifically his movies. So again, 5 being his worst, to 1 being his best, and of course, my humble opinion. So guys, enough exposition. Let's get started. So kicking things off, number 5, we have Ghosts of the Civil Dead. So Ghosts of the Civil Dead is his debut movie, and this was hard to find, but I did manage to find it on YouTube with the help of a friend. And I gotta say, it's very middle of the road, but I will say that there are some sparks of genius. I mean, I gotta say, you definitely do not like these characters, which is by design. And I thought that it was fascinating seeing all these characters go about, their daily routine and everything. But at the same time, it is a very tedious movie. I'm just going to be very blunt. I can't see myself revisiting this movie. Out of all of his movies, this is definitely the one that has the least rewatchability value. But I will say that watching this, I was like, okay, I feel like this may have inspired Oz, the TV show, which I absolutely love. So I got to give props where props is due, because it does seem like this movie did have a little bit of inspiration in terms of that show. So I got to, obviously give credit where credit's due. But nonetheless, still found this movie to be quite middle of the road, and that's why it's number 5. Next up, number 4, speaking of middle of the road, we have 999. 999 is also a middle of the road movie. I did find myself to be more entertained and engaged by 999 than Ghosts of the Civil Dead. And the cast is game. But I will say that this movie is quite forgettable. Like, I saw it a week ago as of the filming of this video. Not even a week, actually. And pretty much all the story and plot beats have kind of left my mind. But one thing that did kind of stick out about this movie was that there's a huge continuity error towards the end. Cop cars are driving. It's I would say probably 2-3 a.m. They're driving, and literally the next scene, the next shot, it looks like it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The cop car is driving. I'm like, wait a minute, what? I understand that maybe it's to showcase how long they've been driving, but it wouldn't make any sense because, not spoiling anything, but they're going up against another scene that's kind of acting as a counterbalance of oh, this is happening at this point and this is happening at this point. And with the, going against time, the other sequence, it's that pitch black night. So it's okay, what is it? The time just does not match up. That's all I'm saying. And it bugged me, man. It bugged me because I usually don't recognize continuity issues these days. But this one, I was able to with 999. So, yeah, but nonetheless, I still found myself entertained and engaged by this movie. It's not a bad movie, just a very middle-of-the-road movie, and that's why it's number 4. Next up, my number 3, another middle-of-the-road movie, we have Lawless. Lawless has an incredible cast, very, very detail-oriented production design, costume design, and makeup, but the center story and the romance really isn't that interesting, and I gotta say that there are so many possibilities with this material that when you see the end result, it's I wish this story was more ambitious. I really do. Because, again, everyone is doing their best. The cast is really good. It looks great. It sounds great. It's a very hollow movie, unfortunately. But I will have to say this, that I do like it a bit more than 999 and Ghosts of the Civil Dead. And that's why it's my number 3. Next up, my number 2 is The Road. So The Road is a decent movie. Viggo Mortensen does a great job. It's a very bleak movie. I haven't had any urge to revisit this movie. I will say that that's something I will take points off for, because I haven't had the urge to revisit, man. I really haven't. Like, it's a well put together movie. The journey itself is intriguing, but I will say it's also very, how do I put this? Slow in terms of the pacing. Like, I really do feel like that also kind of has like an effect in regards to the rewatchability value. But nonetheless, I do respect this movie, and I do think it's rock solid. And I would definitely say it's worth a watch, especially if you are a fan of John Hillcoat. So yeah, that was my number two. And my number one, the movie that arguably is what kind of got him recognition in the first place, but my number one is The Proposition. Modern day Western. This is a very fascinating movie. It's rock solid. I just really liked everything about this movie. I will say that, just like a lot of other John Hillcoat movies, I did struggle a bit with the pacing, but at the same time, I believe I said this in my review when I watched it last year, but I can see myself revisiting this movie and actually liking it more, and the pacing kind of growing on me. So yeah, there's that. I could definitely say that this is one that I do want to revisit already, because it is a very fascinating movie. Guy Pearce does such a great job. He really does. But yeah, that is my ranking for John Hillcoat. So what I try to do is at the end of these videos, I try to talk about the director and if I'm a fan of them or not. And I will say that John Hillcoat, I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of his. I'm really not. I feel like he has so many interesting ideas, but I feel like the execution a lot of times just leaves so much to be desired. It's a shame. I hate saying that, but the reality is that's how I feel. Don't get me wrong, he has strokes of genius where those ideas and the execution do meld together to make like a really fascinating case and character study, such as like The Proposition. But then there you have other times where it's like a very forgettable movie, such as like 999 or Ghost of the Civil Dead, which, I gave praise to Ghost of the Civil Dead and 999, but at the end of the day, I saw those movies recently. I guarantee you, if you were to ask me a year from now, oh, what'd you think of those movies? I'd probably be like, oh, well, the one inspired Oz, which I respect, and then 999, it's basically Heat underbaked. But at the end of the day, again, I still enjoy them while watching them. So he's one of those directors where it's surface level entertainment, but I can't say I'm a big fan of his. But if he does have another movie coming out, I'll probably watch it for sure. But yeah. That is my ranking for John Hillcoat's movies, guys. Let me know your ranking in the comment section down below. And guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the subscription, notification bell, follow me down Letterboxd, and I will catch you guys later.